and knowledge, but also to fundamentally discover myself and the world I occupy. And thus, when I write for children, I do not teach them what is good or what is bad. I do not tell children what to think, what to say, or how to act. I only show them that I too was in their shoes. I too was lost. I too was angry. I too was sad or confused. I show them how social expectations damage rather than nurture their sense of self. And more importantly, I show them how they can maintain their youthful exuberance, their will and playfulness, even after metamorphosing into adults themselves. When I write for the older crowd, I try to give them access to knowledge that is often hidden from view, either due to market standards of taste, genres, age range, or even academic credentials, or because of socio-political divisions that keep us isolated from one another. So I expose my adult readers to all sorts of styles, subjects, and stories. I force them to question their own mental compartments, their own evaluative systems, and then I engage them with questions, with issues, with scandals. For instance, in the Elephant in the Room stories and articles from Anglophone Kuwait, a book, I interviewed a woman about adoption and another about the state of social workers. Some of the stories available in the collection discuss the lives of an interracial family, a feminist who participates in the Blue Revolution of 2003 that eventually allowed women to vote, and the lives of a Shia family in the 80s, told from the point of view of a 7-year-old girl. I developed my own personal strategy because even though I disagree with many of President Barack Obama's policies, I do believe in his initial message in which he says, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek." Finally, 3, the importance of human connections. I just want to emphasize that if the end point is creating a better future, a more inclusive future, a more tolerant future, one that safeguards dignity, that encourages creativity and critical thinking, we need to prioritize human connections. Because people no longer even assume that some of us might have strategies. They tend to think in either superficial or commercial terms. For them, success is defined in terms of profit, recognition, fame, power, or social elevation. Hence, people often ask, how many books are you selling? How many awards are you winning? Or how big is your fan base? For superficial writers, I suppose these things are important. But for someone trying to change Kuwait, one poem, one article, one story at a time, these elements are trivial. I do not judge the success of my work in these terms. Rather, I premise the entire value system of my work on the strength of human connections. I'll give you an example before I conclude. I receive emails from readers who tell me that my writing has transformed them. I hear the same phrases after performances, face to face. At the end, people come to shake my hand and they tell me, "My God, that was amazing. I'm different now." It just happened. But recently, I discovered something even more profound. In 2009, when science fiction writers Danny and Ethan Collin published The Unincorporated Man, I asked to interview them for Kuwait Times newspaper. Their book eventually won the Prometheus Award for Best Novel of the Year. It then became a series, and I continued to support them. At the end of the series, Tor, one of the biggest publishing houses for science fiction and fantasy, sent me the final book as a gift. I reviewed the book on my blog. This was in 2012. A few months ago, on Instagram, I was contacted by a Kuwaiti woman who informed me that the review of the fictional series had had a significant impact on her life. It made her question the state of education in Kuwait and the future of her children. She then took the initiative to homeschool her kids and has now developed her own personal strategy for a better future. Her bio on social network reads, "I'm a Kuwaiti homeschooler and have been homeschooling in secret since pulling my kids out of school in 2012. I finally decided this was too precious of an experience to keep it to myself, and so I'm here to share the joy and the goodness that I've found in homeschooling." She reminded me of a quote by another US president, maybe better, just saying, John F. Kennedy, who says, "Those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future." I certainly don't take credit for her efforts. In fact, she should take credit for mine. Because empowering people to create their own visions and their own personal strategies is the reason that keeps me writing. After all, I believe wholeheartedly in Carol Becker's definition of art. She says, quote, "We need to see art as it is, a sociological phenomenon. And as such, it can genuinely change the world." Thank you.
You need the speaker? Oh, okay. The speaker.